Why I'm looking at this is because I'm trying to gauge where we could potentially pull back on that next move for an entry. So if we do get a swing high, which we got to get the high first to form, if we do form a high here, I would anticipate that we would be pulling back. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you are doing well. This is Kaci, and today I want to take a look at EURUSD. Now, I tell y'all all the time, be prepared to work from any chart, whether it's Smart Trader or TradingView. Well, guess what? Today I have to do that. Having a couple issues, and as those are being worked out, I'm gonna be working on TradingView today. So let me move this down. I'm gonna do a multiple time frame analysis if you're new to the channel, and what that basically means is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna identify all of my swing highs and swing lows. And you're probably like, okay, what's the point of that? Well, if you don't know what a swing high, swing low is, make sure you go to the no cost mini course. You can find the information in the description. But these are areas that price has the potential to turn around. And what do we trade in the market, right? We trade when price is moving the opposite way. We're hoping to catch that move, right? So that's what I'm gonna go through and do for every single time frame. And I believe I have all of my levels. No, I don't. This is a swing high right here. A monthly resistance level. Oh no, we have new price. So no, a new high. All right, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I think I've done everything that I need to do on the monthly. I'm gonna go down to the weekly and I'm gonna do the same thing. I am going to look for my high and my lows. I'm gonna adjust this. We're gonna turn this blue. Now, this is not as fun as the other platform to have to go through and do, but this is why I stress to y'all and to my coaching group, like, you got to be prepared to do whatever on whatever platform. So that's why we learn how to approach it manually as well. So I'm looking. I think I'm good on the weekly. I'm gonna go down to the daily. And I got a high here. Let me turn this to my daily color, which is red. We'll press OK. And I'm just picking up those areas of the highs, right? So let me go in. Let me zoom in so y'all can actually see what it is that I'm doing. So I believe this is a high. Or is it? Let me see. And this is annoying. I got rid of this program in January, at the end of January of this year, just because I relied so heavily on the other program. And what I'm trying to do, y'all, is muscle memory, right? Like, I'm used to being able to click on the candle and see the high, see the low, all that good stuff, and see the information. But this is a high. I see now these two are lower. So I'm fine with that. I'm gonna grab the line, and then I am going to make this a high on the daily. So upon market open, you know, we have our formation. We have 2 to the left that are lower, 2 to the right that are lower. And so this would be considered a daily high. I will also pick this up as this is a daily low. This is also a daily low, looks like. And then I think I'm good there. So I'm gonna go down to the 4. Actually, let me make sure. Hold on. Trying to make sure. Oh yeah, I got some levels down here. Let me pick these up. See, I gotta slow down. And then I'll grab this. And then we're gonna pull this up just slightly. And I'm gonna go down to the 4 hour. And I'm gonna do the same thing again. Pretty boring, right? So I'm gonna grab this. This is a low. I'm gonna turn this to my 4 hour color, which is a gray. and I'm just looking for more highs. So this would be considered a high. This would also be considered a high. And this is not a low yet, but we definitely have two highs here. So these are very close. Let me pull this down because I'm going for right here, this candle right here. Okay. So I'm on my 4. Let me grab, I'm just trying to make sure I haven't missed anything. Because, I don't have the system to check what I've done. So I'm just trying to take some extra time. I'm going to grab down here too. Looks like we got a few levels. I know a lot of y'all are still using this platform. So hopefully this video will be helpful to you. I think I am good. This is annoying, right? I think I'm good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the monthly. And now that I've identified my swing highs, swing lows, I'm about to mark out my fibs, right? The fun part. So I am going to grab my fib tool, which is already configured. If you need help with the fib, go to the no cost mini course, right? Okay, so I'm gonna click from the low to the swing high. My swing high is here. So my take profit on the monthly time frame based on the pullback that we have, which looks to be a 50. I'll double check it. I'm gonna turn this green though. Actually, can I make a new color? I don't want lime green, but I need it to be kind of bright so I can see it. All right, let me double click again. And we're gonna put monthly. We're gonna turn this to the monthly color. Monthly D extension. So that's our monthly D extension. I'm going to get rid of this, right? And I'm going to go down to the weekly. Guess what I'm going to do on the weekly, y'all? The same thing. So I'm going to go from swing low to swing high. And so after our swing high, we got a 23.6 pullback. We got a 38.2. And then we almost got a 61.8, right? And price took off from there. So on the weekly, because we had a red pullback, theoretically, our take profit on the weekly time frame is at 119511 weekly D extension. And so we're going to turn this blue. All right. So now I've done this leg, right? So I'm going to go down to the daily. So I'm going to go down to the daily. And guess what I'm going to do? Deploy the fibs. All right. So if I can get this computer to cooperate with me, what I'm going to do is on the daily, I'm going to deploy my fibs. So I'm going to go from swing low to swing high. So I'm measuring from here to here. So A, B, we had a 786 pullback. D extension was here. So now I'm going to get rid of this fib. And I'm going to measure from my C and my D. So C to D, which is right here. It looks like we didn't have a 786, so that's 618. So I'm looking to measure from the low, so the C, to the swing high after my D, right? And so we hit that extension. So I'm done over here. Now I got to go to my next lowest point. You know why I'm done? This is A low. This is B high. We had a shallow retracement. Price hit the D extension. So now what I'm interested in is I got to look from here. So I'm going to go and do the same thing again. I'm going from my low to my high, right? So A, B, this is 786 pullback, and I need to measure my D extension after that. So I'm going to take from here, the low. This is my swing high after the D extension. So A, B, we had a 23.6 pullback. Our D extension is here. We have a swing high here. So I'm going to get rid of this fib because it's starting to get to be too much on the chart. Oops. So I'm going to get rid of this one and this one. Oh, wait. Let me make sure I remember what I was supposed to do. Oh, okay. So I got to start a fib. Let me draw it. Then I'll get rid of it. From my C, which is here, to my old D, which is here. So I'm going to get rid of, because I know y'all probably looking at the chart like, girl, what's going on? I don't know what you're doing right now. Okay, hold on. I got to get, it's an extra fib on here. Let me get this off. Ciao. Oh, that, it ain't. Oh, yes, it is. Right in front of my face, right? I'm looking over. I'm looking over to the left trying to find it. Okay, so this is the current fib. A, B, we had 23.6. We stalled out 118.127. We got our pullback just above the 618 retracement level. And so our D extension on this leg sits at 119.256. So I'm going to drop my line. I'm going to double click. We're going to call this daily current leg D extension. All right. Cool, right? Boom. All right. So which falls in line with the weekly D extension. Interesting. So because we hit the D extension here, right? We had a swing high. Now I'm going to go down to the lower time frame. I want to look at price to the downside now. So I am going to bring out my handy dandy fib. We're going from high to low. So what I'm measuring is this to this. It looks like we got a 618. I'm going to call it pullback. So my D extension was hit here. My next fib will be from here to the next swing low, which is here. So A, B, we had a pullback at least a 38.2. We hit the D extension here. And so this to me is done moving to the downside on this leg because we hit the D extension. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. And what I'm going to do now is, because we hit that D extension, my thought is that we're going to start moving to the upside. So I'm going to take my fib. I'm going to draw from the low to the high, right? It's not exactly perfect, but from the low to the high, price came to this Friday, came to, I'm looking for my rectangle tool, the 618 zone. Sweet spot, right? So theoretically, my D extension sits just above daily resistance at 113.907. So I'm going to call this my 4-hour D extension. And if you look, the stochastic RSI is approaching the buy zone, right? So I like this for a potential buy on this time frame. That's what it's doing. On the next time frame, it's starting to move to the upside, right? Down one time frame, I should have said. Okay, so because I am bullish, what am I going to do? Tell me in the comments. Am I looking for sales or I'm looking for buys? If I'm bullish, I am going to be looking for a move to the upside. So in this instance, although I don't go below 4-hour to mark support and resistance, for this instance, I have to go down to the 1-hour. What I do want to do, though, is measure from the swing high to the swing low. And I should go down one time frame. I'm sorry. Let me go down to the hour. I am going to look at from the swing high to the swing low, which is here. So we have A, B. Our pullback was to the 618. So there may be another push down. I don't know for sure. Let's continue walking through. I'm going to, I should put this. This is 1 hour. D extension. 1 hour is purple, so this should be purple. Let's press OK. I'm just making sure that I did from swing low to swing low. So this was swing high. This, I don't have 2 candles above. So this is our next low. So this may push down to 1103. We may have another push down first. Oops. Let me see. But on the higher time frame, this is the 618 zone. I gotta see where this puts us at. And I do want to see from the current leg based on the hour. So I measure from the high to the low. We had 86 pullback. We hit that 86, 786, 86. We hit it. And so for this leg, price may be done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up for the buy. I'm going to grab my ray. I'm going to click above the last high. And I'm going to go to the next high. And then I am going to click above. Click at, I should say, not above. My next swing high. And I'm going to have to go down to the 15. And drop my last one. So I see the potential that price could drop again. But let's see where we are. I'm going to click here. And then I'm going to click. This is a swing high. This is my first swing high, though. I'm going to go here. This is the 15, right? So there's a couple things. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm cutting through that top. So if I'm going from high to high, this is where it should be. I was looking up here. I was cutting through the second candle, and you're not supposed to do that. So we have a break to the upside. So let's pull our fib out. Let's measure. So I'm going to go from low to high. A, B, 50% pullback. It looks like we just hit a D extension. So we would start a new fib from, and let me get rid of the old one before I confuse y'all. Let me delete this. Delete. So I'm going to go from my low to my high. So this is the current fib. A, B on this time frame. 618 pullback. D extension. Supposed to sit here. Right. I should be putting in the coordinates. 11702. We're going to put in the coordinates. I was close. 11702. This is 15-minute D extension. And why I'm looking at this, man, D extension. Why I'm looking at this is because I'm trying to gauge where we could potentially pull back on that next move for an entry. So if we do get a swing high, which we got to get the high first to form. If we do form a high here, I would anticipate that we would be pulling back somewhere. And looking at structure, I'm thinking right around here, the 38.2, in between the 38.2 and the 50. So I'm looking at this right here, right? So if we break through this, let me draw it out. If we break through this, form a high, I would expect on the lower time frame that we're going to test here because look, right, that was past resistance. And then I would expect that we would move to the upside from there, right? So I'm going to get rid of this fib. Now, how do I figure out my take profit for this time frame? It's going to be my 4-hour D extension because that's the time frame I'm trading off of, right? So I need to set this up for a potential entry based off of what I got here mapped out. I need to account for the fact that we may drop to the downside as well. So I'm going to grab my long and short tool. I'm long, right? I'm thinking that price will pull back somewhere in this zone for a potential entry. That's where I'm interested in executing at. I'm going to place my low below that 1 hour D extension just in case we get a drop, right? And then also below my last swing low. Now, if I was, let me see how many pips this is. So this is 68. Yeah. The other thing that I was going to note is that we often see price come back to these levels, right, and test them. But we have a daily test here. I would imagine that our next level would be a higher low. So I'm going to map this out for the buy with a 4-hour take profit based on the analysis that we did. And I'm trying to stretch this out so when I get to the hour, it don't look crazy. But we're going to go up here. And even though my D extension, so D extension sits at 11391, I'm placing my take profit just before daily resistance, just because it's so close and I would hate to lose out on that opportunity for a couple pips, right? So, yeah, so I placed my stop below the last low here. So this would be the potential for 222 pips, risking 68 pips. This is a 3.2 to 1 setup. So it makes sense all day, in my opinion, to take. I would just keep in mind that we may see price come back to this low. And therefore, if you are limiting in, I would probably actually place my stop below the last low, but that would make your stop loss like 80 something pips. And if you're not comfortable with that, I would watch it manually to determine when to enter or set an alert on the trend line. So making a horizontal line, setting an alert, and notify you when price crosses up the trend line so you can be notified, so you pull out your chart and do what you got to do. But this is my bias on Euro USD. I think we're still moving to the upside. I am bullish on the higher time frame. I think we've hit the extension to the downside, so the retracement on the lower time frame. And so now I think that price is getting ready to start to move back to the upside. We may have one more push down to 1103. It looks like, before we begin to see price move up. So if this was helpful to you, please let me know in the comments. If you learned something new, let me know in the comments. And then if you're like, Kaci, I really like the way you trade, I want to learn to do the same, I would advise you to go to the no-cost mini course. Check it out. There's a lot of good information. It will, at the very least, help you to be able to follow along as I mark up charts. All right. So I appreciate you for watching. I hope that you have a phenomenal trading week, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.